Hey, you guys. I hope you guys are doing good. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Oh my gosh, it's been a lot going on. I want to do an early Zoom just because I have really been sick. I've just not been feeling good. And it seems like I keep getting sick like near the evening. Like yesterday, I was supposed to do a podcast and I just did not feel good. And I went to bed about 7. So I'm like, I don't want to risk, trying to wait till the evenings because I usually try and wait to do it in the evenings once people get off work. But I have energy right now. I feel a little bit better right now. So I'm like, let's just do a Zoom meeting and talk so we could catch up. It's a lot going on. And it seems like a lot of people have just been sick and not, feeling too well and under the weather. So I was having we were having a discussion in my other conspiracy. I have like a little conspiracy thing on Telegram with some of my mods. So we're all talking about Bronny, this whole LeBron James's son situation, and him basically having a cardiac arrest while he was at practice. And so this is like really, really scary because you have a lot of kids, mine included, who play sports. But I also noticed that a few years ago, I remember Shaquille O'Neal's oldest son, they ended up finding something wrong with his heart during like a routine checkup. And he had to have like an emergency heart surgery. And if they wouldn't have did it, he would have passed away. And then a lot of people are saying, like, is this tied to the vaccine? Because as we all know, good old LeBron Sr. was pushing the vaccine very, very heavy. But I thought of this whole other conspiracy. I don't know if you guys remember these videos. They used to be on YouTube. They taken them down. And they were about celebrities who were like MK Ultra assets. And LeBron has been rumored to be one of those celebrities for a long time. They've been following LeBron literally since he was like 8 or 9. Nobody knows who his real father is. And I feel like they keep comparing Bronny to LeBron. Like they want him to, take over in the NBA. They want to do the father and son thing. But I feel like Bronny's never going to be LeBron because LeBron is an anomaly. He's one of the tallest, fastest. Most people who are tall and big like that, he's almost like 280 pounds, solid muscle. They're usually not that fast. He's extremely fast, maybe not as much as he was in his younger years. And he's literally been followed by the media forever. And like if you really go back and you understand like LeBron's coming up, it's a conspiracy within itself, especially the fact that they don't know who his father is. And his mom was a teen mom. So you mean to tell me a girl getting pregnant at 15, 16, she had sex with that many partners in a 48-hour period that she does not know who the father is? Just no idea. So yeah, it was LeBron's son that had the heart attack. And so I don't know. I've just always thought it was so weird, like how much they keep comparing this young boy and putting all this stress on this young boy's shoulders. But he does not have the same skill set LeBron had at his age. He's not LeBron's level, right? And I think it's just so much pressure on him, and they're working him up to be LeBron. And he's never going to be LeBron. LeBron is only one LeBron. But it's sad to watch. And I think that's also taking a toll because they're working a lot of these athletes super duper hard, and it's very interesting when you look like in athletics. Also, who keeps on muting themselves? Let me mute everybody because somebody keeps on muting themselves. Also, if you look at pop stars, a lot of those pop stars were said to be like groomed for the industry, groomed for entertainment. And so we were just kind of like really talking about this, and it was kind of deep. Hold on, let me see if I can mute everybody. How do you mute everyone? Because somebody keeps unmuting their microphone. Marnell should know. She knows how to mute everybody. I want to mute everyone, and then here we go. I found it. Okay, muting all. Okay. Can y'all still hear me though?
We can hear you, but make sure you click on the option that doesn't allow them to unmute themselves by themselves, that you need to request them to unmute themselves just to make sure.
That's what I had it set up at. It's like Zoom keeps changing the settings.
Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna do it. Just give me a second.
Okay.
On my end, it says that it did it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go to, there you go. Mute all. Yeah, but now you need to unmute yourself, T, if you want to speak.
Perfect. Thank you. I don't know why it's doing that. So anyhow, they were like, we were going really deep with the conspiracies because even when you think about like people like Beyonce, Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, they come from like the Disney come up. Well, not Beyonce, but the other three. And you ever notice that a lot of these people have had cameras on them from the time they were like little, from the time they were little. But if you think about, especially all of us who grew up in like the 80s and 90s, most people didn't have cameras like that. Like if you had a camera, people had disposable cameras. Some people had like the regular camera, but they only came out like on special occasions. Like literally for me, I can only find like maybe a handful of pictures of me when I was a kid, literally like 5. There's probably like 2 baby pictures. There's probably like, 1 or 2 random videos. But I always find, look at the chat. Like I always find it very strange how a lot of these people have had cameras on them from the time they were born. Even Venus and Serena, they've been filmed since they were little, like just watching them grow up in the tennis world since they were little. Again, like I said in my deep dive, Jeffrey Dahmer, his father had so much footage of him. That wasn't normal back then. Like for us, it's normal now because of social media, right? So you see kids as soon as they come out the cooch, they're being filmed. But that wasn't how it was back in the day. Like the only time you really saw video cameras were during special occasions because they were very expensive. The tapes that you put in to record were not cheap. So people only really bought out video cameras if they could even afford to have one, was like usually weddings, maybe birthday parties. You weren't just filming your kids playing sports. You weren't necessarily just filming them, and a lot of these people, they didn't have money like that. So who was filming these people? Like, where did they get the funds for all of this? I don't know, man. That's where my mind be going with all this stuff. I just feel like it's so much deeper than we know, that a lot of these athletes and performers, they were bred for this and they were placed in front of us. And that's why there's so much footage of them from the time they were little, at dance recitals and at this and that. And the regular people, we don't have footage of ourselves like that. We all played sports. We, were in drill team. There was nobody following us around with cameras. I just find that really weird. But I say all this to say that I really feel like they're putting a lot of stress on that boy, and they're trying to, the world is definitely a stage. And they're trying to make him be the next LeBron. But I've always felt like there was something different about LeBron James Sr.'s rise. The way we've been following him literally since he was a kid. And, the fact that nobody knows who his father is. And he has like all these like crazy abilities that he had been able to do. And even the fact that he's still playing NBA basketball, when most people, by the time they hit their late 30s and 40s, they're getting ready to retire, because sports takes a big toll on your body, heart, joints, everything, and it is a lot. It's a lot that goes into this. And it's just kind of sad, like just all of the stress that's being put on these young kids to perform, not just in sports, but to be athletes, to be entertainers. We can even go with the K-pop. A lot of their boot camps and their training camps are very rigorous. We've seen videos of K-pop stars passing out and going through all of this stuff. So that's my conspiracy for the day. I just think that it's something about it. Somebody said him and Tom Brady refused to retire. Yeah, it's just very, very strange. But I feel bad because, having a cardiac arrest at 18, that is insane. Some people never are able to bounce back from that. Any type of cardiac issues heart issues, it takes a toll, you know, where sometimes you're not able to bounce back. Even with Jamie Foxx, he hasn't really come out and said that, you know, people are saying he had a stroke, but he hasn't come out and said what exactly caused him to go into the hospital. But you can tell whatever illness he had, it literally changed him, his face shape, his complexion. He just looks drained, like he's just been through it medically. It's really sad. So feel free to raise your hands. We're just going to be talking about conspiracies and whatever else. And then also, I want y'all to also hit on all these strikes that are going on in Hollywood. I know a lot of people want to talk about that. Oh, did y'all see the girl? She was crying today in the shade room. Let me pull it. We're going to watch this real quick. She was a child actor. And she was crying. They were dragging her in the shade room, though. She was getting dragged. Because I think people feel like, well, you got regular people going through it too. We don't get residuals. We're just getting another job. But it's getting bad when you got childhood people, childhood stars coming out crying. Let's watch her real quick, then I'm going to take on some calls. She was in All That. I vaguely remember her.
And you got to understand that not all child stars are rich. Not all of us are balling. The leads of the cast, they get the big money checks. The supporting cast, like myself, we don't get that. That's why we're striking. Okay? I'm asking for a livable wage. I'm asking for health insurance. You have no idea how hard it is. We just came out of COVID and now we're going into a strike. I use my 401k, my nest egg, my savings to survive COVID. I don't know what money y'all think I have, or I'm saving up something. No. Okay, between family members stealing from me, or doing a show where they didn't pay me, or now I'm fighting for residuals because executives don't want to give me a dime. I'm asking for a livable wage. I'm asking for health insurance. I got responsibilities and things that I got to take care of. I got back to school coming. I got to put my son in private school. Private, oh, you ain't got to do that. You put him in public school. I can't put him in public school because when I did, they was picking on him because of me. The parents were jealous because I was on TV and famous, and they told their kids to pick on my kid. So I had to take him out and put him in a decent school. I'm tired. I don't own a home. I barely own my car. I don't know what money y'all think I have, but I don't. I have a job. I don't sit there and go, oh, well, why don't you just go get a job? I got a job. I got a job. I don't make enough money to qualify for SAG health insurance, but I make too much money to qualify for assistance, but not enough money to pay for whatever procedures I need in my pocket. This is why I strike.
All right, let me go. Let me stop sharing the screen. I'm gonna say this. Y'all gonna have to show me a picture of her when she was a kid on All That, because I don't recognize her. I don't believe that the parents were making fun of her. I don't believe the parents were telling kids to make fun of her kid because she's a famous actress. I'm not buying that. Just say you want your child in private school, ma'am. Just say you want your child to have a good education. Nothing wrong with that, but don't try and act like, because again, it's not like, is she still working? Like, I don't recognize her. Y'all got to show me a picture of her from childhood. I don't remember. But Okay, Freedom Riders. She was in okay, I remember her now that you wrote Freedom Riders. That came out when I was in school. What parents are having their kids pick on somebody else's child whose mama was in Freedom Riders that came out in 2003? Anyways, all I'm saying is that everybody's struggling and everybody's going through it. But I'm noticing a lot of like the, you know, the smaller actors, not the A-listers, are all coming out speaking. And I think the problem is, for so long, Hollywood put on this persona that it was all glitz and glam, right? They have the award shows, the Oscars, people are wearing $1 million dresses and $1,000 shoes and, you know, my hair, my nails. So people have always looked at Hollywood and acting and the entertainment industry as glamorous. People have assumed that everyone, you know, has money and they're rich and famous. And that's not the case. It's really only 2% that live that life. But the problem is the ones who don't live that life, they also help to perpetuate this nonsense. I'm not saying her per se. I'm not saying her, but I'm just saying like a lot of people who are in the industry, they help to perpetuate this. And now they're shocked that regular people are like, go apply at FedEx. Matter of fact, there was a man who went viral. I don't know if y'all saw this video. The guy who worked 30 years for Yellow Trucking, he found out he's not getting no pension. Did y'all see that video? And he was going off. Let me see if I can find that.
See, I just sent you the picture of her.
Okay. Oh, she had dreadlocks back then. Okay. Yeah, I as soon as they wrote Freedom Riders, her face just hit me in the head because I remember her in Freedom Riders. That was my movie. But let me see here, Yellow Trucker. He went off. And I don't see a whole lot of people, you know, regular people are going through it. Times if I can find his video. It's sad. He spent 30 years with this company only to find out he's not gonna get no pension. I'm trying to find the video, but everybody's showing commentary. If y'all have the link to the video. Okay, here it is. I found it. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, this is the video here. Daily Mail always clocks. I hate that.
Play anytime, anywhere with Lotto.com. Welcome to Remember.
This number money off, man, right? You're right, but so this is what I'm saying. You want to tell me how so this is what I was saying. Anytime with government.
Okay, so y'all just heard what he had to say as well. So like I said, everybody is going through it, you know, not just Hollywood, but everyone. But I couldn't even imagine being at a company 30 something years and there's no pension, no benefits. They can just come in and just fire people, unfortunately. Y'all said the audio wasn't working? Y'all couldn't hear, I don't know, probably something with the Daily Mail, but the video's on Twitter, so y'all can always watch it. He's basically just yelling that he's been there 30 something years and he found out that he's not getting his pension. And the company supposedly they were supposed to be shutting down yesterday, so I don't know what the update is so far. But let me go ahead and start taking on calls. Nessa, go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hi, T. Can you hear me?
It's sounding robotic.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tim. The
That's okay.
rotten apple again.
It sounded a little bit better when you were just talking.
Let's see. Can you hear me?
A little bit.
Is this better?
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. Is this better?
Okay, that's better.
Okay, sorry. Hi, T. How are you?
Hey, I'm okay.
I don't know if you remember me. This is Miss Vanessa. I talked, I want to say like a year ago almost. I was on here like crying my eyes out about my cat and, you know, just things that were going on in my life. I will never forget that. She was like just awesome, like how you guys prayed for me and just the positivity that I, you know, got from you guys. So I just wanted to mention that. But also, I don't know if you remember, I had commented the other day about UPS.
No, what about UPS?
So I had left a comment. I work for UPS currently. So I'm part of the union. I'm part of the Teamsters.
Mhm.
So right now it's like they're gonna probably sign contracts. So it looks like we might win. They're right now gonna go up for vote, meaning that we're probably getting paid more and, you know, that things are get a little bit better. So let's keep us in prayers that that happens because we're really tired and, you know, a lot of these work conditions are not the best. And for the pay that we get, you know, it's not that great. So I feel all of the actors and writers that are on strike too, it's very hard to do your job when you know you're not appreciated and you're not being paid what you should be paid. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just wanted to mention that and I'll keep you guys updated on that. So hopefully we win that contract. But I also wanted to talk about this, you know, sickness that's going around. I actually was in the ER last night from 9 o'clock till all the way 5 in the morning because I broke out hives. I've been breaking out in hives for like the past 3 days. Like it's been horrible. And you know, I've been taking Benadryl and things like that, but it's just I don't know if anyone else has been having those type of symptoms or anything.
Was there a lot of
But
people in the ER?
yeah, a lot of people for
Huh.
just all types of stuff. But I did notice that there were people there for the same thing that I was going through. A lot of people had like rashes or hives or cough, like just all sorts of things. So everybody keep healthy.
Definitely. Well,
But yeah,
I'm glad you're feeling better and you're out of there.
I hope so I hope they gave me some medication, much like, oh, it's an allergic reaction that you have to something. And I'm
Your
like,
phone's
I don't
breaking
know
up.
what I'm allergic to. They were asking, oh, I'm sorry. Is it better now?
It's like it keeps going in and out. It's going like robotic.
Oh, I'm sorry, T.
That's okay.
It's my computer. How about now?
Okay, that's better.
Or like the Verizon commercial. Now, how about now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what I'm allergic to. The doctor was asking me, have you done anything new? Have you, you know, any products, any new foods? And I told her, I was like, I'm not really sure. The only thing that I can think of is I started taking these new elderberry vitamins. So I don't know of anyone that's ever been allergic to that. And as far as I know, that's supposed to be good for you. So yeah, I'm not sure what's happening, but just, you know, I hope everyone keeps me in prayer. I always I don't say too much on the Discord, but you know, I'm always there and I always try to pray for someone if I see anything, you know. So I really like this community and thank you, T, just for all you do. And I keep you in my prayers as well because you're awesome. You're like
Thank you,
my
sis.
tia, which is my auntie in Spanish. So yeah, T.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate
just
you, sis.
yeah, I just wanted to share that with everyone and just yeah, keep everyone in prayer and just thank you T for everything. I just wanted to give those little 2 cents in.
Okay, well, keep us posted on the UPS stuff too, definitely.
All right, T, thank you so much. Have a
Okay,
good day.
you too. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, it's a lot of industries that are like really striking, right now. Um, again, I just don't understand, like going back to the Hollywood people, um, they've either been not getting residuals or getting very little. And it's very interesting that everything is happening now. Like, because they've been not getting this stuff. So why did it take so long for them to finally say, we want to strike now? Is it because the economy? Is it because they know something we don't know? Because it's about to get worse? Like, why wasn't all this done, let's say 5-6 years ago? Or even back in 2008, when they first went on strike, the writer's strike, why weren't the actors and stuff striking for better residuals and all this stuff back then? Like, why is everything happening this summer? It's very strange. So let me go ahead and bring on Lola Ray. Go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hi T, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
All right, I've been following you for years. Usually I come in, I raise my hand, then I get scared and I'll back out and run away.
Well,
So
welcome.
this time works great because my son is gone and so is my husband. What I want to talk about is health. My husband, 44 years old, had a stroke, lost his left side. 44. Like people, and I don't think anyone realized like we are not as healthy as we think we are.
Mm,
We are not ingesting in now that is edifying our bodies. We are doing the best that we can with rising costs, rising prices. I've lost, of course, my husband lost income. This is the first time I'm talking about this outside of family.
mhm.
And I consider you guys family. I read and everything, but I've never spoken about everything that I'm going through because I've put myself in a shell.
Mm,
Um, our bodies are being stressed. It is mental stress, work stress, family stress. And I am doing this by myself. Just me and my husband. Thank God my son is on vacation in Florida and he'll be back soon to go back to school. But if we have nothing else, we really need to really think about who is in our corners more so than doing anything. Who can we depend on? Where's our family outside of our family? Where's our real friends? Who's there for us when things are going to get hectic? Because between the strikes, the rising food prices, everyone's complaining about health, mental health, physical health. We need people who will take care of us and care about us when all of this goes down to
mm.
like when it all goes down, like who is our personal community? And I thank you for all this time. I just really just wanted to say that we really need to pull our wagons in a circle.
Yeah.
We really, really do.
And you know what's
And
so interesting, sis, that you said that. And it's true because think about how many people are literally coming to social media crying. That lady's a whole actress. Where's her mom? Where's her circle? Where's her friends?
yes,
People don't be having nobody, especially when they're going through stuff in a time of need. There's very few people you can count on. Very few.
and that's all like I really want us to realize we can get on social media. Like T, you are the only person outside of immediate family. Like I cut off friends to take care of my husband. And not because I was ashamed of anything that I'm going through with him. I need people who gonna care if I eat when I'm trying to feed my family. I need people who's gonna say, you know, are you okay?
Yeah.
You would be surprised since I went through how many people fell off, haven't checked, haven't, and am I mad about it? No. Because at the end of the day, my husband is my husband. That's no one else's but mine. And I love him to death. And I'm going to continue to fight for him. And I'm going to fight with him. But and I'm putting my age out there, as a 46-year-old woman, it really brought me to the point of knowing that, yeah, I do not have that circle that I thought I had.
Mm.
And we really need to do a lot of self-reflection. And when it goes down, who can we really, really depend on? And I know a lot of us don't. I just saw the comment. A lot of us don't. You're absolutely right. A lot of us do not. But I'm gonna let you go. But I just really want to put that out there. Social media is not gonna save us. And those tears on social media is not gonna save us. We
Mm.
need the connection. We need to get our connection back in the 80s, the 70s, where if we were hungry, we can go to our friend's house. We can go and sit at their table,
Right.
and they would share their food, and they would call your mothers and call and be like, hey, your child is here. I fed them. So all thing I do is give them bath and put them to bed. Or you'll see someone, oh, hey, I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? We need to get back to that.
Yeah. And you're so right. And that's one of the things that I always say, like, trust me, I love social media, right? Because we have things like this that do connect us, like the Zoom meeting, the Discord, but we should also have regular real world connections. And I think that's the problem. A lot of people have basically sacrificed their real world connections for social media connections. So then when this internet is cut off or not working, can they go across the street to their neighbors? They don't even know their neighbors. They ain't talked to their cousins in how long, because they feel like, well, I can just DM my cousin. So people are making all of these superficial relationships, but they're not keeping their real relationships intact. Hence why people are now running to social media to cry and, ask for help. And it's really sad because, again, it's so many people going through it.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, T. I just wanted to kind of voice and just say hi and just share a little bit. And thank you guys for giving this platform. Thank you for allowing me to even say what I haven't been able to say for a year and a half about my husband. Y'all continue to pray for him. We're in this together. They told me to do a DNR on my husband, and I wouldn't.
Mm.
And he has short-term memory loss, but he's doing good. So
Good.
thank you guys for everything. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story, sis. Oh, wait, that is so true. Health, health is not guaranteed. And as long as you have your health, that in itself is a blessing. I mean, even going back to the situation with Bronny, this is a child who was born into wealth, born into prestige, born into money, went to the best schools, don't want for nothing as far as, clothes, food, shelter. And right now he's laying in ICU. So it puts things into perspective. The things that so many of us are stressed over. If you have your health, you have nothing. Without his health, he can't play basketball. Without his health, he may not be able to make it out of ICU. So that is very, very important. That's a wonderful reminder, and thank you for that. Let me go ahead and bring on Miss Muchilla.
Hey T,
Hey sis, where you been hiding?
I've just been busy. I'm not even home now. I'm at my sister's house in Maryland, so
Nice.
I'm out here chilling. But I wanted to talk about the whole situation. That's the same thing I think that happened to Shaq's son too, as far as him having cardiac arrest. Yeah. And then they started focusing on his daughter that's playing basketball now. They don't talk about the son anymore.
No.
So, I know I want to say he had some kind of open heart surgery or something like that.
Yeah.
As far as I'm talking
And he
about
was only
Shaq's
like
son, not
18, 19.
LeBron.
He was very
Yeah,
young.
because it happened to him. It was like a shocking age also.
Yeah.
And then you never heard of him playing ball again because they was talking about he was good in basketball too. They was saying like he was like one of the kids to come up and stuff like that. And also they did show like, I don't know, it's like an origin story. I'll say it like that because the way everybody looks at LeBron like he's superhuman. But it was like his dad went to high school and they showed the high school pictures and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they were saying that his father was a good ball player. But it seems like you don't know whether you know how something seems unbelievable because they would like people was talking about like they didn't see these people together when they was in high school and stuff like that.
You said what? If you broke up?
I was bringing up.
Yeah, you broke up. You said
I
something
was
like high
saying
school?
something about yeah, his dad, they were showing the picture, like he actually went to high school with the mother, and they were showing a picture of the guy, and he looked similar to
Where'd she go? Okay, looked like, I don't know if she got kicked out of Zoom or what the heck happened. Cause it was like it was going in and out. Yeah, it says Muchilla left. I think it kicked her out of Zoom.
No, she's back. Muchilla, if you can't raise your hand, please. She's back though. I don't know what
Okay.
happened.
That's weird. I don't see her on here.
It says on my end she joined.
Okay, I'm gonna bring on somebody else. I don't know what happened. That was weird. Okay. Let me go ahead and bring on Nubly in the Sky. Go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hey T,
Hey, how are you?
good. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Oh my God, girl, I have a lot to say. I want to talk about the unions.
Mm-hmm.
So without going into further detail, this is like confidential, but I'll just say it because y'all don't know where I work or where I live. Well, some of y'all know where I live, but y'all don't know where I work. The union one, we just found out like basically like about a week ago, and so right now they're in the process of like arbitration, and they're gonna go to court or whatever. So I don't know why, but about a week ago, I was going down a rabbit hole of like union because I'm like everywhere I'm going, everywhere has a union. Like even in like the local grocery stores, there's like unions. Starbucks are trying to unionize. Like, and I'm noticing that it's being driven by a lot of like young people, like the Gen Zers are the ones that are leading the way for it. And I heard that they have like a 70% chance, 70% outlook of like unions and stuff. And so I saw this documentary. I saw two documentaries on unions. One of them was about the Chicago Teachers Union, which is one of the largest unions, like teacher unions in the US. And I saw a documentary on the California Teachers Union. And one thing I've learned about these two unions is that they're kind of like corporations. Like they are so massive and so big that like they got like millions of dollars from union fee that they're running. And particularly the ones with the Chicago Teachers Union, like that in itself is a rabbit hole. Like they are funding so many politicians in Chicago and in Illinois so that they can't fulfill their agenda. And it doesn't matter if the kids are, failing. It doesn't matter if the kids are going through XYZ. They're always demanding more and more money. And in the beginning, I was very pro teachers union, right? Because I love my teachers, and I think, I'm very thankful for my teachers, and they do a lot of hard work and stuff.
Real quick, isn't the teachers union the one that also keeps bad teachers from being fired?
Exactly.
Like,
Yes.
Sexually harassed, they just move them from school. Okay.
Yes, because in that documentary from the Chicago Teachers Union, there were like hundreds of allegations of teachers and staff sexually abusing minors and children, and the teachers union, they don't want to be looked at because the teachers union, they have their, like, again, they're like a corporation. They got publicists, they got attorneys on staff, they have all these things to protect the teachers. So like there was this part where this mom was saying like my daughter was like raped by this like teacher or whatever, and I contacted the board so many times, but they would never listen to me. And it turns to find out that the board was like, oh, well, we've never heard of this issue before. They were almost like gaslighting the mom, saying that it ever happened. And the one thing that I've noticed about the teachers union is that they're very against the school voucher program. They're anti-school voucher. And I'm noticed, and I never understood that, but it seems like, for example, as a parent, if you were given, because in Chicago, I just found out that each kid in the Chicago school system gets around $28,000 a year that they get to use. That's the budget per kid. And imagine if you, as a parent, you got a voucher and says, okay, well, here's a 28,000. We're going to give you this voucher program. Go to wherever. If you want to go to charter, if you want to go to public, if you want to go private, you can go ahead and use that money. And the teacher unions were very like, we don't want that, because they know, T, that if that were to happen, people would not go to Chicago public school system. I know so many people that are leaving like the Chicago, every year, the CPS, Chicago public schools, has been going like down and down, because people, so many parents have like, we're so dissatisfied with how the schools are being ran. And also, what a coincidence that I think he had a position in the Chicago Teachers Union. Brandon Johnson, our mayor, was part of Chicago Teachers Union, and I just found out that he's getting a $1 million payout from the Chicago Teachers Union once he retires. And their negotiation starts next year. It's like, I was like, he's getting like a payout, like a pension payout.
Right. Why?
Because he's the representative. Well, this is like, so what the teachers union is saying is that they're saying, oh, well, he's part of like the administrative staff, like he's done a lot of work with the teachers and so forth. But in my opinion, he like, the teachers union picked him as a candidate for like the mayor of Chicago, so that when the negotiations were gonna happen next year, he will be the one doing it. And the previous mayor, Lori Lightfoot, the teachers union did not get along. So I think they used Brandon Johnson as kind of like a, hey, you're one of us type thing. So if we'll give you this $1 million payout when you retire, you will also help us renegotiate our contract. It's like politics.
I love the comment that that Ajoy is writing. She said the unions were a good option to protect workers from big, powerful companies, but then the unions turn into powerful companies too.
Yep.
And
yeah.
I think that makes the most sense as far as like what you're saying, because that's what I was saying earlier. The SAG-AFTRA union has been around for years. So why, when the writer's strike happened years ago, why weren't all this stuff being discussed?
Right.
I think I've talked more about this as somebody who was never a principal actress in anything on my YouTube channel than any of these actors who actually have principal roles. So like, this is nothing new, but how come like everything is being discussed? Like, why is this the summer of the strike?
You know
none
why?
of this stuff is new.
You know why? Because, and this is like my personal opinion, is because the unions, they gaslight you so much. And I have a feeling that if you were probably an actor that were in the union and you complained about it, I believe your union rep will come and check you and be like, hey, if you want to be in this union, you got to stay in line. We will tell you how you feel, because that's how the union has been doing it for Chicago Teachers Union, because there were several teachers that complained about when like the teachers union gave like $1 million worth of campaign money to Brandon Johnson during his campaign. And there were several teachers that were like, hey, like that could be going to our pension, that could be going to other things. And the union reps were like, hey, we'll tell you what to think. They were almost like bullying them and telling them like, hey, we'll tell you. Like, they use the unions, they use bullying tactics. If I gotta send you the one with the California one, that one she was saying that the unions, like in these like secret meetings that you go to, they have these like these like secret meetings, or I don't know if they're like secret, but like meetings that you have to be a part of. And basically the union rep is like yelling at these teachers, telling them, this is what you're gonna teach, this is what you're gonna do. And if you say anything about it, like we will make sure we will come and check you. Like they're almost like gangs, almost not like they're teachers. Like it's so weird, but that's like I was like, damn. And when if a teacher were to speak up, the union rep will come and check them and be like, are you sure you want to do this? Like they use so many intimidation tactics that a lot of teachers, I'm like, this is way too stressful. Like I can't do this. And on top of that, like do my job. Okay, I see marking. But yeah, it's interesting. It goes deep. But the one thing last thing I would say is like, just for everyone who are like in the union stuff, like don't like, I get it, right? Like workers' rights and everything, but like go like do research on unions and you start and more the recent ones, and you'll start finding up some things that you're like, it makes your tin hat tingle. And that's all I'll say. Okay, thanks, C.
All right, thanks for calling in.
Mhm.
Now, you guys made some really good points in the chat that AI is bringing a lot of this in with the SAG-AFTRA, and that's why they're speaking, because again, all of this has just been normal in Hollywood. Just, just getting your check. You're lucky if you can get residuals. If you do, they're, pennies. But now it seems like because it's affecting the A-listers, where the A-listers can be replaced by AI, the background can definitely be replaced by AI. Now they're speaking up. Because again, if they start replacing the A-listers, why would they be paying into the union if they're going to be replaced? So yeah, I think the AI conspiracy that y'all kind of came up with, that makes a lot of sense as to why a lot of this stuff is being spoken about. So let me go ahead and bring on Boosie the Blueprint. Go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Can you hear me, girl?
I can hear you. How are you?
Hey, Pete. Hey, girl. I really didn't want nothing. I'm just like a little fan girl. I just want to say I love you.
Love you too, sis.
But while I'm here, I want to ask everybody. I'm at work, by the way. Remember when I told y'all I had to pull up on my supervisor and get my check?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't my supervisor no more.
You quit the job?
He ain't want nothing. He ain't want nothing to do with us no more. So I was like, hey, run me my shit. Anyway, I'm still working on his computers and sitting at his desk, but that's cool. Anyways, I just had to ask everybody in the chat, just curious, what's the cost of living where y'all live? Because I don't know if y'all know, but here in Texas, I mean, not the cost of living, girl, minimum wage. In Texas, it's $7.50. 25? $7.25. It's on the wall in the break room. So I'm curious, this big ass state, $7.25.
In Texas?
I'm curious, in Texas, honey.
Let me see what.
It's on the wall in the break room. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Soda's is $10.59 in Minnesota.
See, yeah, Texas got to do better. But that's all I want to say. I just think that's crazy. I heard y'all talking about the union. And then to the young lady, the lady with the husband, honey, this is a family. Because when I lost my mama, this is where I came. And I appreciate y'all for that. So I love this group, this family. This is a big family.
Definitely.
So that's really all I had to say. I just really can't believe minimum wage is $7.25 here in this big ass state, but I just think that's mind blowing.
I know Cali don't got the nerve to be giving people $15.50. Cali's minimum wage needs to be $30 an hour. Is expensive.
I agree. It costs a lot to live.
That's insane. Oh, wait. $7.25.
I just had to see if I was tripping because that ain't shit.
Well, thank you so much for calling in then.
Oh, no problem. I'm just going to tune in the back and keep working.
All right. Well, they're writing all their minimum wages in the chat.
Oh, I see. All right, y'all. I'm here. I'm in the back.
All right. We'll talk to you later, sis. Okay, let me go ahead and bring on AT or at. Go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hey, T.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. How do you pronounce it? Is it at or AT?
It's Arian. And
Oh.
I had it like that on my user, and so yeah, when I had it like that another time, I had to change it back to AT. So I'm still
Oh,
trying to
okay.
figure out how to change it. Hey, I'm like one of the other people where I raise my hand and sometimes I put my hand down and all that. And then I realized, oh, it's me this time. And I met you last year at the Atlanta event, and I really wanted to see you again this year, and I wasn't able to. So I'm waiting for that time again.
Okay.
But just when I was listening to other people, one of the things that I thought about, and I was actually talking about earlier, was like basketball players. And so I was wondering how many more seasons was LeBron planning on playing. So it was really interesting that we were talking about that today.
Yeah,
And I was
most
just
of
wondering
the
like what everyone
guys
thought about it.
like his age, for the most part, a lot of them have retired already. I've always said that he was going to hang on until Bronny made it to the NBA. That was always his plan, hence why he moved to LA. You know, I think they want to be the first father and son to play in the NBA at the same time together. And I don't know how it's gonna work now with him having, you know, this heart situation. But I believe that that was always LeBron's goal, was to stay in the NBA, you know what I mean? So that way he could play alongside his son. Because a lot of, there's quite a few sons, right, that play in the NBA, but their fathers, you know, have long since retired. Like Scottie Pippen and Larsa's son, yeah, does he play for the Lakers? I know he's in the NBA, but you know, Scottie Pippen, he's long retired. So there's a lot of second and third generation, but there's never been a case where they've played together. And I think that's what he was trying to go for. Oh, hold on. Unmute your microphone.
Thank you. And the other thing too, I was wondering about is like the whole health thing also. Like I told you when I met you too, I remember January 28th, 2020, I watched your video and I tried to find it again where you're like, something is coming. We don't know what it is, but it was pretty much like with COVID and everything. And I remember just thinking like beforehand, like, oh, you know, I have a decent immune system and all that. And I thought we as like a society would never like go back to that. And then that happened, of course. And just like, just being in crowds of people, or if I ever just feel off, I'm like, let me take some medicine just in case because of COVID and just how, or C-19, but just how things have changed and how I think like as we people, how we have to adapt and just even like the long-term causes, just trying to make it day to day, you know, as people, and how like it's kind of frustrating now because I feel like it's changed probably like not only my health, but just a lot of other people's in general. Yeah, like just someone with allergies can throw me off, or you know, like my mom off, you know. So just wondering about that too, and just the long-term causes. And I know that we're still navigating as humans, so it's kind of hard to maybe have those full answers, but I was just thinking about that also. Yeah, I was just wondering like y'all take on it.
As far as like people's health since COVID? Can you hear me? Oh, I think she muted herself.
Thank you. Yes, just I guess just like in general, because I didn't know like if other people were dealing with that as well. Just like it being more sensitive, I guess, like your health or just allergies or just having a cold, and just you know like navigating through it.
If y'all want to write in the chat, somebody just wrote something. I don't know if it's necessarily like having to do with COVID, but I feel like a lot of people's immune systems have gone down. Like people, I don't know, I just feel like even myself, I just feel like I feel sicker than I used to feel. Like every day, it's like from one day to the next, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. It's like 1 minute you're fine, and then else you just don't feel good. I don't know if it's in the air, and maybe it's the air too. You know, the air quality from Canada. It's like every other day we have some type of air quality alert. I feel like there's stuff in the air.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. And so just from then, just trying to practice those same like safety and cleaning habits that we've already been practicing before 2020, and just pushing through with it now.
Mhm.
Yes, but I didn't want to take up too much time. And I know there was something else, and it's probably gonna pop up in my head afterwards. And if so, I'll just probably make a comment in the comment section. But those were like two of the main ones that I was just really thinking about.
Okay, well, thank you so much for calling in. It was good talking to you, sis.
You're welcome. Yes, it was good talking with you too. I can't wait for the next event.
Definitely. All right, so let me go ahead here. I don't know why Zoom keeps freezing me up. Okay, y'all can see me. I'm not frozen anymore. It like keeps freezing for some reason. But some people are saying that they're taking Zyrtec every day. People's allergies have gone up. I feel like the food and water quality has gone down since COVID. Yeah. It's like things don't even taste the same. When Nizza said, if y'all don't know, LeBron is also linked to Freemasonry. Maybe it's a ritual that needs to be fulfilled. Man, I miss those like deep dives on like the MK Acid celeb children, like as they came up. They were really good videos. And the fact that YouTube takes down all these videos, I feel like a lot of them had truth in it. Because they used to be like just really like bringing receipts. Let me go ahead and bring on, let me see here. Cosmic Marcus, go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hey, how you doing, T?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Good, because I got rid of that rotten apple. I'm back with Team Android. Team Android this last week. But it's crazy how you've been talking about how you've been feeling sick. Are you feeling better though?
I feel a little bit better right now. It's like usually in the evening, like around like later on, like around like 6, 7, I just want to go lay down.
Yeah, I feel you. I've been feeling sick all since last June, really. And it's something about this year about being in a spiritual battle, I feel. How I feel like the beginning of this year, I've been in a mental spiritual battle. How everything's been coming at me mentally. I've been depressed. I've been anxious. I've been just going through it mentally. And now we're going through a spiritual battle physically, where everybody's just getting sick. Everybody's getting injured. I had a couple of people at work, myself included, who had to take 2 weeks off. One, because there was this girl, she's pregnant, and she's had severe morning sickness. She's doing better now, but she had to take a week off for that. And then another girl who I was working with, she had gotten into a car accident. It was really bad. She's in the ICU. I'm just praying that she gets better too.
Oh, wow.
And then gone through with a pinched nerve. So yeah, we've been getting going through it spiritually. And I just pray everybody gets better. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Well, I hope things start getting better for you too, Marcus, especially like mentally and things like that. Definitely take time for your mental health. Talk to people. A lot of times we find out that some of the same things that you're going through, other people are going through as well.
Yeah. Oh, I did want to say something about the writer's strike.
Oh, okay. Yes.
It's crazy how we had a writer's strike back in 2007, 2008, was it?
Mm-hmm.
And how that one was potentially resolved. Well, do we know the deal that they struck back then that ended that writer's strike?
I don't know. I don't know the details of like the deal, with all that. I know back then they were fighting to get residuals for the shows that they wrote because they felt like, we're the ones writing the story, so we should get a cut just like the producers and the directors. You're only directing for that little bit of time. You're only, producing for that little bit of time. But the story that I wrote is endless. So I know that was like a big fight for them to try and get residuals. And so they end up getting that. But I think too, you got to think about the time in 2008. There was some social media, but not a whole lot. People weren't on social media the way it is today. Netflix was around, but I didn't have Netflix. Most people didn't have Netflix back then. So for a lot of us, we just watched regular television. So we saw the impact when you're having to watch reruns of Jay Leno and David Letterman and, you know, just different shows were all in rerun back then. So you knew something was going on in Hollywood. It was affecting you because you weren't watching anything new. These were all old shows that they were just replaying until they could figure out the strike. The reason now that they have more of a upper hand is because nobody's watching TV like that anymore, right?
Right.
Most people watch YouTube. YouTube is the new television. You can watch Netflix, Amazon Prime, and most people are not necessarily into the latest show. Like when we used to watch TV, we would watch shows that were currently running, right? But with Netflix, what that did was make people, how could I say it? Like the microwave popcorn, right? Where you get things instantaneously, you get it fast. So now I don't have to wait once a week for the latest episode. I can literally binge watch an entire season in one day if I want. And I think that format messed up a lot of people. This is why a lot of kids, they don't wait, they don't understand waiting. They don't understand, like, you know what I mean? There's not going to be a new video every other day, you know, or kids who can't watch stuff for long periods of time because the TikToks and how short everything is. So I think even though it's cool to have everything at your fingertips, it also messed up the way that we watch television. Because
Exactly.
everybody's into streaming and binge watching. So now what that caused is that when they used to write, they would write for, I believe it was up to like 24 weeks. You would have, when they did a season, you would have between 22 and 24 seasons of a show. Excuse me, not a season. 22 to 24 episodes in a season, right? So because of this whole binge thing and Netflix and Amazon, the seasons have been shortened. So now when you watch an Amazon show, the seasons are between 8 to 12 episodes per season.
Yeah, not
instead of 24.
20.
Instead of 24 episodes. So
I can't remember the last.
Yeah, so
lasted
it
20.
cut down them being able to write shows. And then also when you're a writer, they had these writing rooms where all the writers would come together. And writing rooms are fun because that's when you get to throw out your ideas. You know, everybody's written a script and you take a little bit from that person, this will work, this isn't realistic enough. And you're all in a room brainstorming together as writers. And that's been one of my funnest experiences when I used to write stuff. And now they don't do that. Now everybody can just write remotely. It's not the same as being in a room and feeling somebody's energy, or you're reading a story and you're looking and you're seeing their emotions and how they're reacting to it. It's not the same when you're doing it on Zoom, but they did that because if you're not on set, you're not necessarily getting paid. So all of this was ways to cut money. And so like the actors and all these people, they're really feeling it now. The writers, all that stuff, because it was always to cut money. When you'd be on set working, there used to always be a writer on set. So let's say an actor, you know, they're acting there in their moment and they start doing a lot of improv. Sometimes when you're improvising stuff, you forgot what you said. So if they like it, they'll have the writer be right there, write this into the scene, take this out, rewatch what they said, write it down, and then we're going to shoot her from different angles. Well, now in order to like cut money, they don't even have writers on set. So it's really affected a lot of the nuances of how things work behind the stage. But it's all about money. They want to cut corners, they want to cut costs. But all of the big wigs, like the owners of Disney and Warner Brothers, the people who own the studios, they're not cutting their money. It's just the actors, the writers, the producers, and things like that.
Yeah. And I always wondered about that, the thing about the instant gratification, how I see that a lot of myself. How I live on YouTube. I never go to watch any movies or anything like that, rather than a special occasion. I do watch things here and there, but other than that, I live on YouTube watching You Love BT, other different content creators and things like that. And also the thing is with having the writers in the room together rather than having them over Zoom. Whether you can feel that energy. I also wanted the same thing about the music industry, where how many people doing these features, all these remixes, how many of them are recording in the same studio?
Right.
Right. Just sitting in different takes and things like that, where you can feel each other's energy in the studio. So you can hear the difference in that on the track.
Yeah. They don't even, you're not even getting whole songs. I don't even know if y'all are even realizing that. You guys aren't even getting a full body of music. You guys are not getting choruses, bridges. It's just a quick, it's just whatever's hot that we can dance to on TikTok, but there's no bridge, there's no nothing. It's just a quick 2-minute song. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Everything has just gotten watered down.
Yeah.
But thank
Well,
you
my time
for calling in.
having me. Thank you for picking on me.
Okay, we'll talk to you later. Yeah, everything has changed so much with the entire industry. And people keep mentioning Tyler Perry. Let me explain something to y'all about Tyler Perry Productions. And this is just tea for the Discord. Tyler Perry is just as bad as these white studio execs. Unfortunately, Tyler, and I can even talk about, these Black men who own record labels. What I've noticed with a lot of us is once we get into certain positions of power, right? Once we get into ownership, we then turn around and we become the exploiters. So we complain. I froze. You see how Zoom is doing? I don't know why it keeps freezing me. Let me come back on. Think about how many celebrities, hold on, start my video. Think about how many celebrities talk about, how they were abused by execs and, these racist white men, they're taking a bulk of the money. Remember, Mushmouth Diddy got up on stage and said that, he has to do with racism in the industry and he's not getting paid what he deserves. Meanwhile, look how he treated his own artists. Well, the thing about Tyler Perry is that he does the same thing, but in the movie industry. And I heard a lot of people saying, well, people should just go work for Tyler Perry. Do y'all understand that Tyler Perry takes so many shortcuts? And on top of that, I remember when he came to talk to us one time at the YouTube space, and it was for that movie Boo. It was like the Halloween movie that he was doing, and he had like a few big YouTubers in the movie. And I'll never forget, he said it took them a week to film it. And so we were supposed to be promoting the movie because Halloween was coming up. And I'm like, a week to film a movie? And I thought it was just so weird. And then I remember talking to like a lot of my friends in LA, and that is what he does. He tries to do everything in like a week or two. When movies, if you want a good movie and you're doing everything ethically, meaning that people are getting their breaks, people are able to eat, everything is working like clockwork, a movie is going to take you, a good movie is usually going to take you about a month to film it. He tries to pack everything into a week. So a lot of people are on his sets for 24 hours, 48 hours. It's a mess. It's a mess. So I don't know. I just hear people always like, like Tyler Perry is like the savior. No, he's no different. He exploits people too. He's no different than some of the white execs who do the same thing, unfortunately. But yeah, he puts all of his productions, he tries to get everything shot in as less time as possible. He takes advantage of up and coming actors and actresses. He's another one who feels like you should just be grateful that you're on his set and this will look good for you on your resume, but he doesn't want to pay them their worth. So yeah, there's a lot of Tyler Perry tea in the industry, child. Yeah, 6 seasons in 2 weeks. That's not normal. When you're working on a good production set, it's going to take you a while to film. And they're filming every day, right? Like, I mean, even Straight Outta Compton, I think that took like a month and a half, maybe 2 months to film. It shouldn't take you, if your production is going too long, right? 6 months to film. I mean, unless you're talking about Game of Thrones, where there's all this CGI and things like that, it shouldn't take 6 months. but it definitely should not take a week to film a movie. Usually movies are filmed within like a full month, at the most 2 months. And let's not act like he's going to all these exotic locations. You know, it's right down his studio set. So it's just, he takes advantage of a lot of Black actors and actresses, unfortunately. Okay, somebody said Dollar Tree wig. Y'all are a mess. Let me go ahead and bring on, Virgo. So go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Hi, T Boo. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
It is raining like torrential rain out here. I don't know if you can see it. It just came out of nowhere.
It's been raining a lot lately.
It's horrible, but like actually we've been having a heat wave and we ain't been talking about that, but it's been ridiculously hot in Boston. It's been like, Lord, sorry, the babies. I don't like babies in windows and I don't like thunder and lightning. So now I gotta move. I'm sorry. Because I really don't like thunder like that. She's right in the window. But sorry, y'all. It was like gunshots. I got PTSD from the hood. But that's what it sounded like the last time that it went off. That's why I'm scared too and traumatized. Because literally I walked out my door and it felt like I got clapped in my chest with the lightning. And then I wasn't the only one because people was talking about it on social media. Like, what the fuck was that? It just didn't sound like normal lightning. So I'm scared I'm gonna walk right in the house. That's too much. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the actress thing or whatever that we was talking about. The chick from All That, I remember her. And I kind of agree because I don't know how far back. I feel like I was a teenager doing acting. And my mother put me in acting classes because that's what I wanted to do. I always I'm just loud. I need to do something with this energy, right? Mm-hmm. So my mother put me in acting classes. And when I was younger, I feel like, I had my daughter at 19. But before that, I was in there. And because I wasn't a part of SAG, for one, I didn't have access to all the auditions because I'm not a part of SAG, right? You get more privilege with SAG as far as that. You might get an audition or you're going to be told first or you get in front of the line, whatever, right? That part. And then I felt like after I had my daughter, I had to get out of the industry because I figured out what movie I did or what thing I did. I did get a residual back from that. It was like 25 cents. I said, hell no. I don't know what I did, but they gave me a residual for something. I was like, I always thought that these people was getting like thousands or something because the movie made that much. But I learned that day, like, this is what, for real, I don't even remember, but that was the whole payment. You know how some people get 25 cents a year and all that? That was it. That's how much that was it. There wasn't no other year coming, no 25 cents. So that was weird. But so now then after I had my daughter, of course I don't qualify for a nanny and people on set or all those things that other people get. When that comes with SAG, that like I was working with Meg Ryan, she had her children on set. Annette Bening, you know what I'm saying? Deborah Messing, they had their children on set. They were able to come visit. They had nannies and shit. And all I could think is like, damn, my mother had to watch my child. I wish I could have done that, but I found out then why I couldn't or how I could get there, right? So that was cool. But I feel like what she was trying to say is that like she's been a child actress. She's worked on big plate things where she's done and made money. Like all that is a big name. She should be getting some residual because her and every other person in that show made it what it was. So why shouldn't she? I just think they should. And she shouldn't be struggling like this where you don't have health insurance or you don't feel like, someone's supporting you and you're struggling just like regular people. But that's, again, people, why Brenda chose not to be in that field, because I feel like even when I was in it, it was like a side hustle. That was like something I love to do, my little hobby thing, but I still needed a real job until I got to like Angela Bassett status. I needed a other job, you know what I'm saying, to support that because it's not the thing, which is why they have struggling actors in LA and stuff. So she needs to get herself together because it's not all like I agreed with her, but then I feel like this, and if you know this industry so much, you know what it is. You got to get a regular job. And I think it's a lot of their pride that just makes them feel like I can't be working beside somebody at Walgreens when I might be on Walgreens thing in a movie. Like, what does that look like? But for me, Like I looked at that back in the day, like that would be dope if I worked at Walgreens and y'all can see me. That's me. Get that movie. You know what I'm saying? That's me. But them, they do have a pride. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's different.
But JoJo just said they've been faking the good life, and now we see behind the curtains.
And that's
you
true
gotta
too.
understand too that the industry is very exploitive. And what they don't tell you is the money is behind the scenes. That is part of what you get for being in front of the camera. You get the fame. How many times have celebrities showed up at a restaurant being like, do you know who I am? I'm a actress. I'm a movie star. I should just eat free. Or people recognize them and they get freebies. So that's part of the package, is that a lot of them traded in getting real money for that fame. That's what people got to understand, that, you know, it's cute if you're recognized, but it's not cute if you're recognized and you're broke.
Right, exactly.
You know? And that's how they're able to exploit people, because a lot of people traded real tangible stuff for fame, for being in front of the camera. And so, you know, again, when this is regular people, what were regular people told? Go get another job. FedEx is hiring, go to the gas station. But see, a lot of it too is pride. If you see me, you know, working, you know, in a movie that everybody's watching, let's say Friday, or even the girl from Players Club, the one that fought Diamond, the blonde-headed lady, she worked at Walmart and people were clowning her.
I was about to say, remember the dude, what was his name? Was it David Allen Gray, I think it was?
You're talking about the dude from the Cosby Show.
Yeah, he was just, he was just working
at Trader Joe's. Yeah, like people really have to.
He got a job. He's doing regular stuff. That's what he's supposed to do. Like, and that's what he was saying. Like, why are y'all trying to shame me?
Right.
I'm not out here he ain't on the internet talking about, oh, they're not paying me and they don't get rid. He got a fucking job like he's supposed to, a grown ass man. That's what I like. And that's what I felt like in that moment when they were shaming him. And I'm glad Tyler did give him something, or somebody gave him something after that. But yeah, but hold on, T, because I know my 5 minutes gonna run out quick and I got a lot.
Yeah, you good.
Real quick. So I was putting this in a Discord or whatever. Girl, did you watch Who Cloned Tyrone?
I haven't seen it yet.
Girl, my energy. It was really good. Everybody I talked to felt similar to me. Like, it was really good, but it was very confusing, and we kind of got upset. It was like, damn, like, I know they be playing in our face like this, but someone really made a movie about, like, how, like, the perms are supposed to, like, get everybody to want to perm it straight. Like, everything was like, everything we use on a regular basis that we think is cool music, the way we, like, our swag or whatever, was something that they're playing in our face with. Like, we know about the perms, like, making us feel like we had to have straight hair. That's normal, right? We know about that. But it's the way that this person did it. I need to go back and look at who was the writer and director, but they definitely did a good job. Because they got us talking, and it's going to get you talking. I think you're going to feel some way. My only thing was, what year is this taking place? Is it 1975? Are we in the 2000s? Then it felt like we ended on, like, Set It Off, Shawshank Redemption status. It was a little confusing like that, but it was really good. But it left my spirit feeling some type of way because of what they were. You just got to watch it. Then there was enough. I had to go and watch, like, Hack My Home to get my spirit back to a happy place. And I love that show. And I did. And then I started to go back because I binge watched that and went to Deep Fake Love. I don't know if you heard of that. This is even more scary, T, because all I could think about is you and all the videos you do and how people be taking your thing and turning you into a meme and da-da-da-da, right? So this show is like, you got a group of couples or whatever, and they go to this island. Come to find out, I look back at it, they was in St. Thomas. They go to this island. They look like they all Spanish or whatever, but they go to the island and they're a couple, and they're like, could have been together for as many years as like a year to 10 years, right? And they're trying to test their love to see if, like, you live on this dorm or this part over here with these people who are also couples but being single, or people who are actually single artists, what you gonna do, right? So everybody's doing them in their parts. Then they come to this group, this other little area where this lady brings them there, sits them down, and basically shows them a video that did not happen in the other part. And it looked like, because they're basically showing the new AI, it's some new AI technology, basically, like how far we can go in that technology. It was something like that. But the people didn't care about that. All they seen was, like, real life, a face and your voice. It takes your voice. It takes your mannerisms. So they were, like, mingling, getting to know each other on the first day. So say how you be like, you do, like, little things. that in the video is gonna be looking like you, because you're gonna be like, damn, T does do that. It's like certain mannerisms. So not until the end did they find out that those videos were actually fake and which was real, what was real. And basically throughout the whole thing, they got to vote, even though they're uncomfortable with what they're seeing, that their partner did not do that, or they did do it. But watching it together, they were like, I see why you were mad at me. But I was like, this is scary. Like, if this is what they're making and this is a show, what can somebody who's in tech or learning all these things be able to do? Like, I worry about things like that. Somebody bring me to court about something like, this is the video showing she did something, because you have a camera or something, or my mannerism, or a picture of me, or my voice recorded. This is what this show is. Ain't that scary?
Yeah.
To think about, like, what if there was a video of UT doing something that you didn't do, like, at all, but it was all you, and you're like, that is me, that's fucking me. But you can't explain, like, I know I did not kill, no, I was not stabbing nobody. I did not, but it looked like me stabbing somebody. How do you explain that? Like, and then you had to really look at the video, because there's something in the video that, like, maybe the way their eyes move or something. I see you, Marky, that you had to notice or whatever. But that one, I want you to watch that and Delete and Who Cloned Tyrone, because those ones.
Fake love. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. That
Deep
sounds
fake love.
sounds like Black Mirror.
It
I
is
watched
something like that.
Mhm.
But even worse, it's an upgrade. That's why it's like 7G, okay, compared to the 5G of that, right? But I ain't gonna bother y'all no more. I forgot some things, but I love you all, and we needed this. I can't wait to hear from everybody else. Love you, T-Boo.
All right, love you too, sis.
All right.
It is so much going on right now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Let me go ahead and let me see. Kim and La, go ahead and open unplug your mic. Unmute your mic. I said unplug.
Hi, T.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
So I just wanted to bring up the point. So like last year in 2022, I had a stroke. It was from a result of the vaccine. The doctors basically told me that the vaccine drops your vitamin and mineral levels, and that's what could cause a stroke. And I was someone that had a problem with maintaining vitamin and mineral levels. So if I had known that, I would have started going back to an endocrinologist just to make sure, and I didn't know. So surprise, surprise, out of nowhere, I had a stroke. And I'm fully recovered and everything, and it was just like a shock. So a lot of times the vaccine can be made as if the people like you and others that aren't getting it are fools, like you're really, really stupid. But the CDC and everybody knew my future problem was there as part of the vaccine, and they never said a word. And if I had known that, I would have just gone to another doctor I just needed the lab work to show me if my levels were up or down, because I needed a few infusions. And now just once a year, I have to go and make sure. But they, even though the people in charge knew, they did not give out the information. So you can always, if somebody says something, you can whip this card out of the deck, because like, they know things and they don't really say what, because they have the numbers that are proving worldwide, like what's one of the causes of the or side effects of the vaccine. And that is, it does lower your ability to maintain your vitamins and mineral levels, which can lead to heart attacks and strokes. And I ended up having a stroke, and they told me in the hospital, like, we kind of believe it's vaccine related and everything. So I'm like basically 100% recovered. I was in the middle of grad school. I managed to finish on time. Like nothing really happened to me, but that's not the same case for everyone. So we don't know if LeBron's son did have a reaction to the vaccine, because it had been a year since my booster. When I had the stroke. So it took a while for my levels to drop. So you don't know if something happened with him and he just wasn't properly, getting the information he needed to make better medical decisions. Is was kind of like my first point, because as much as like we need the vaccine and everything, we do need information on it. I normally don't get new medications and new vaccines. I like to wait a good 5-10 years for them to have worked out all the kinks, but it was kind of a special situation, which leads me to my next point. We all are involved in the environment, like how the trees grow, how the birds are interacting, all of that. So you as a human are taking in oxygen and other things, and then you're releasing out carbon dioxide and other things. So that affects the atmosphere. So I think everything changed, like how we are receiving in and projecting out, and involved with the environment has kind of caused a miasma. And now we're all like, even I normally only have it once a year, but I'm on Zyrtex like literally once or twice a month. I need to start taking some pills or I'm so stuffed up. I wake up because I'm having trouble breathing in the night. So, I think that's one of the problems that people just don't recognize. Like everybody is doing that. We don't have the trees like we do. We know they're getting cut down. We know the animals are interacting. So when there's a new kind of microbe out there, that is affecting how we are receiving in all the oxygen and everything. And it's also affecting how we're putting it out there. So now it's like a new world order, and we're going to have to kind of like just adjust to this. This is how it typically is. They talked about this during the Spanish flu, which is like 1920. And I'm an accountant. I got my MBA from Texas Southern University. But that yellow trucking, they missed a $30 million payment. So it's even worse for that guy, because you don't know if you have you have to sit there and wait, because you're not 100% sure if you're going to get your pension. This is why in the 80s, they started switching you from pensions to 401k, because like if you watch all the mafia movies, they were stealing money from the pension. So you really weren't getting your guaranteed pension as you were going older. So they were like, oh, just put it in savings. And you have to these companies really don't care. They know how bad things are. And they, as an accountant that audits the books, they know how bad things are, and they are not telling you. They are lying to your face and walking right beside you. They will walk you to your car and know for sure, you're going to be broke tomorrow. And that, you need that next paycheck to pay rent and medications and everything. And they really don't care. So you have to like make sure you're living underneath your means and make sure you are absolutely saving as much money as you can for every possible incident.
But my thing is, because I haven't even heard the word pension in years, because like you said, the 401k. In this day and age, you're better off just getting a Roth IRA or setting up your own savings. Like you can't really depend on these companies.
Mm-hmm. The good thing about 401k, they match you. So it's like free money. And if they put that in, like, so where you would get your Roth IRA, they should put their money in that account as well. Mm-hmm. And the way you check that, I know it's stupid, but you better check it, is to move the money. So if they said they gave you $5,000 to match your $5,000, move that whole 10,000 loppity doppity, even if it's just for one day, and then move it back or do whatever you want. But like, if you can't move the money, you don't have that money. So that's one thing you should know always and upfront. Like if it's your money, you can do whatever you want to with it. I know they messed you around at Wells Fargo when you were trying to do some stuff and when you couldn't take it out. But for the most part, for those IRAs and 401ks, you can just say, I want to switch this up like this. I want to switch this up like that. And if you can move the money around, they did match your money. That money is real and it's in there. So that's why you go for the 401k at your company, and maybe an additional 401k. But I have Chase, I have Ally, I have I feel you. Yeah, you go. You definitely have your eggs in more than one basket. But thank you for your time, T. I appreciate it.
Okay, thanks for calling in and good luck with everything, sis. All right, let me go ahead and bring on Miss Scully B. So we got one more call after her.
Hey y'all. Hold on.
Hey.
Let me take this off. Hey. So, before I forget, I'm gonna say this first. T, you should really watch this movie called The Congress. It's basically, have you ever seen it?
No, Ty was writing it in the before she left in the chat.
Yes.
What's it about?
It's about what's her name that plays in The Princess Bride, like the princess from The Princess Bride. She basically is like playing the like real life version of herself, and she basically signs away all the rights to her likeness, her voice, everything, and she goes into this like kind of like, what's the shit that Facebook came out with, Meta, the virtual reality shit like that, but she
The
basically
metaverse.
signs away her consciousness, and so they can use her image, her likeness to do anything they want with, because she signed it away, and she's stuck in like this I guess like false reality or whatever. And her daughter, I think, is like sick or something like that, so she's doing all that to get paid so she can, you know, get some type of cure or treatment for her daughter or something like that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but it basically goes into, you know, a lot of the AI stuff. And also the very first episode of The Equalizer deals with that deep fake shit. Like the girl was accused of murder and it wasn't her. Like somebody had set her up using deep fake, so it looked like her on the camera or whatever. But I really wanted to talk about something that's going on in Texas, that's been going on in Texas recently or whatever. I don't know if you know much about the story about the little boy that's a grown man now that's been missing for the past 8 years, and then like just popped back up like, hi, I've been here the whole time. My mom was holding me hostage. She brainwashed me. Do you know about that
I think I
story?
heard something about that.
Okay, well, that actually happened in my neighborhood, like down the street and around the corner in my neighborhood or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And I was asking my mom, I was like, wait, are they even still in that same house? And she was like, yeah, they're still in that same house. That little boy or that dude, he he has been in that house the whole time. Like the whole time. And she like, when I say she rode that shit to the wheels fall off, like she had gone to California and everything looking for him, chasing all of these leads when he was supposedly, you know, missing or whatever. And they were
But
getting all
nobody
these
ever
tips
thought to
about
search the house, though. I never understood how that went on for so long.
that. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, so wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you was there the whole time and, you know, nobody noticed that you were like in the other room? Or like, how does that even happen? But then I'm thinking about what you were talking about like the connections that people just don't have anymore, especially after COVID. But that was just after COVID. Like this happened like what, 5 years before COVID? Like, are you kidding me? So you mean to tell me that there was nobody? And then they say it was like when he was found or when he finally came forward or whatever, it was because he just got tired of her crossing his boundaries and he wanted to have a real life. And like he was talking about how he even got pulled over in her car one time, but he was told to say, you know, a fake name or whatever. Like I just I don't understand how people could do shit like that. I
Is she
just don't
gonna go
get
to
it.
jail?
So no, they're not even talking about charges right now. Like they're declining charges right now for further investigation. I'm like, okay, y'all do y'all investigating, but you know, she's a Hispanic woman, but we already know how that's gonna go down if she was, you know, black. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But either way, even with race aside, like, how can you do, like, she literally had all of these people. I remember people were like literally in an uproar out here. And this is when I was living in California. I was hearing about it all the way in California. So this story was like real big out here. And you mean to tell me you were faking this whole fucking time? Like, for what? For what? But that's all. I just kind of wanted to rant about that for a little bit. That's about it. Oh, one more thing. As far as people getting sick, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I can't speak as to, you know, the air quality and stuff like that, because I don't really have allergies, so it doesn't really bother me like that. But I know as far as the sickle cell side of it, and the heat has been crazy. Like, every sickler or warrior that I know has been sick. And I mean, like, some of the worst crises they've ever had, like these past few months. Every warrior friend that I have personally, like some of my closest friends, warriors in Canada, warriors in Nigeria, you know what I'm saying? Warriors here, some of the strongest warriors that I know here in Houston are like in the hospital right now. I'm talking about like down bad. And it's crazy. With the last time I went to see my hematologist, she was saying that it's literally like so many more warriors than normal coming to the hospital right now.
Now, hasn't it been really hot down in Texas and Arizona?
Huh?
Hasn't it been really hot down in Texas and Arizona?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And we actually just had the sickle cell convention like this past week. And mine was like hybrid. So like the first half of the week I was virtual, and then like the last half of the week I was there in person. And a lot of the people that I was talking to when I was there in person that like flew in, they were like so shocked. They were like, I had no idea that it was like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a different type of heat. And I'm like, yeah. I say, I can imagine what y'all feel. Y'all probably feel like me with that first time I went to Miami. And my mom, who only has the trait, ended up with a sickle cell crisis. So I'm like, I'm so sorry that, you know, this is y'all introduction to Texas or Houston or whatever, but this is what we deal with on a daily basis at this point. Like yesterday, I don't know if it had something to do with the heat yesterday, but our power there was no storm, no rain in sight, but our power just blinked off for a few seconds for no reason and came back on. So I'm like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but it's definitely something going on. That's it. I'm out, Marky. Thank you guys. I love y'all. Bye. Bye, T.
Talk to you later. Love you too. Yeah, I've been hearing the South has been crazy hot. Really, really bad. Kendra says the internet has been tripping in Texas due to the extreme heat. Wow. Because they said Texas and Arizona were in the triple digits when I was watching the news. It hasn't been too crazy up here, honestly. Today's kind of hot. It's 82, but most of these past 2 weeks, it's been in the 70s. So it hasn't been like crazy hot up here. So let me go ahead and bring on Monet. She's the last one.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
So I'm in the animation world, but like it has some like overlaps to film. So I've been hearing like professionals who work in both realms talk about the strike and what's going on. Like, from one guy was saying that his coworker went to Disney, they got hired, and Disney 3D scanned them for AI stuff and pushed them along their way without a check. So not only did they not get paid for it, they definitely ain't getting residuals. But what you were saying about the strike, about so some people have been talking, they're saying that the residuals were good at one point, that people were getting they were getting okay money from them. But once these companies started making their own streaming, they don't have to, before you leased it out and somebody paid you for it. Now that Disney, they don't have to pay anybody for anything they put on Disney Plus because they own it. They're not getting money back from that. And a lot of these companies are losing money on streaming services. So they're like, you getting nickels and dimes. We're gonna pay the Bob, we're gonna pay him millions of dollars though. So he good, but y'all not getting, y'all getting scraps.
Well, it was
And
a
like,
hustle. That's the whole issue, is when streaming was brought in. We were talking about this when we did the meeting in Atlanta. That's what ruined the industry for the most part for like residuals, because initially when you would make a movie, in order to license it for television, right? They had contracts with the television studios. So
Yep.
every time you watched, you know, Growing Pains, Cosby shows, things like that, they were getting those nice residual checks that they were able to live off of forever. But then the companies started getting greedy and started making their own side deals with the streaming services. So remember when Netflix first came out, everybody was dumping all their stuff over there to Netflix, right? So you could go to Netflix and watch Cosby Show and, you know, all these old shows back in the day, and they were splitting that money with Netflix. But then the studios were like, well, why are we giving Netflix half when we can just create our own streaming service? And then that's when you got Disney Plus and Amazon. So now you have all these streaming services. It's because they wanted to cut Netflix out the deal and just keep the money for themselves, but never pay the actors and the writers who actually gave them the content to be able to even stream.
Yeah, I was hoping that the animators would strike next, but they got a clause in there. They have a clause that they worked out with the union where they're not allowed to strike. And recently, it was a big talk last year. Warner Brothers bought HBO Max. They had their thing with Max. Then they changed it from HBO Max to what is it? I don't even know what it's called now, and I have it. But there was a bunch of like animation stuff on there, and they got rid of it. So not only people can't buy the DVDs for it, they can't stream it anywhere. So now all these creators, they're like, we were barely getting money from that anyway. But now you're saying nobody can watch it because y'all don't want it on your streaming service and you're not going to rent it out to other people. How are we supposed to make money off of this? They don't care and we can't strike. And it's getting bad on every level. It's like for artists, wages are going down, but for the corporations, the producers, the executives, their money is going up. So it's like, how is this fair? You need the right, you see these people, there's movies on hold right now. There's TV shows on hold. So obviously the execs aren't the most important people. It's the writers, it's the actors, it's the people that you're going to the movie for. I don't go to the movie because it's a Warner Brother movie. I'm going because I want to see Margot Robbie. I'm trying to support her. So they're forgetting like who they truly need to invest in. And I think part of it too is they can't control people as the way they used to. People are more vocal about how much they're getting paid, the treatment in the studios.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
You also have to remember too that Hollywood is ran on nepotism.
Yep.
So you have a lot of nepotism babies who have been bred and raised in Hollywood, and they are the ones who are going to get first dibs. Think about how all of the A-list actors now, they're all executive producers. They're all producers on all these projects and movies and TV shows. We could take Euphoria, for example. Literally all of those kids in Euphoria are nepotism babies.
Yep.
A lot of those actors. So at this point, there's really no room for like the average person who wants to act and, you know, be a star in Hollywood unless you have some type of connection. They done got rid of the casting couch damn near ever since Harvey Weinstein. So it's getting harder and harder for regular people to break in. They want to keep that money in those circles, you know, and that's where I guess for regular folks, yeah, you can make your own content and things like that. But even then, you're not going to get that push. You're only going to get that good push if you are tied to one of the main studios. So it's a unfortunate thing. But yeah, a lot of these people it's all about nepotism and keeping it in the family.
Yeah, I heard that a lot of, especially the female actors, started making studios and trying to get executive like credits because they were being paid more when they did executive work if their name was slapped on it, not just as the main lead. So that's why a lot of them started getting into that. And you notice even some Margot Robbie, I didn't know this, I just learned this today. She's an executive producer. Her production company helped with Barbie.
But
So she
ask
probably
yourself, everybody has these titles. What did she do to executive produce? And that's
And
what
I'm like,
nobody can explain. Think about it. Let's go back to
Yeah.
back in the day. You know, a lot of people found this out in the most recent years when Mace was ranting. Justin Combs is an executive producer on Biggie's project, Mace's project. He was in a pamper. What did he do to executive produce this? But now he gets that money. Blue Ivy, she has executive producing credits. What has she done? Like, you know, and I get it, you're hustling and trying to make a way for your kids, but you're also taking from a real adult who actually wrote and produced and made the beat and were actually in the studio all night. Your toddler wasn't in that studio.
Exactly.
Aside,
Like even
thank you, DJ Khaled's son. And, you know, and that's the thing, we praise this stuff depending on who it is. Oh, Blue Ivy, yes, you know, yes, sis. No, not really. This is taken away from a grown adult who actually has bills, whose mom is not Beyonce. You know, I'm like, Blue Ivy's gonna be fine regardless. She has 2 billionaire parents. And, you know, again, a lot of these people get these titles. Anybody at this point can create an LLC, right? I can, you know, Lovely T Media LLC, and then you're in good, you're the main actor of the Barbie movie. Well, now also tie my company into it so that way I can get residuals and get back end credit. It's just all a hustle, but the people who are really up all night actually writing the story and editing the story and doing the CGI and the graphics, they get pennies on the dollar. Did she disappear? Oh, I think it must have kicked her out. But do y'all get what I'm saying though? Like it's really frustrating because now anybody can literally claim and be an executive producer on stuff, even though they did the bare minimum. But then again, that's also on us as consumers, because as soon as we see, oh, executively produced by Selena Gomez, oh, I'm going to see it because I'm a Selena Gomez fan. Even though she didn't really do the work, they're literally just putting her name on there because it looks good. So we got to be really wary of that stuff too. I think it's selfish to add people who are not there, you know, and also, you know, sometimes groupies, they've been known to get executive producer credits because they were in the studio giving head. So now they're in the album and they get some type of credit. It's real, like it really happens. And I think if you did not physically work on a project and put your blood, sweat, and tears, you should not be allowed to get residuals off of it. Because think about all the money that's made from movies and songs and stuff like that. And the people who actually had a hand in it, they're getting paid pennies. But because somebody's daughter who was in a damn pamper was in the studio, they're getting a bulk of the money compared to the adult that actually laid the track. It's crazy. But yeah, it's definitely a hustle. Nepotism is very, very real. But you guys, all right. Was that everybody? Marquis, did you want to say anything? Okay. Well, this has been a good stream. We've been on here for a while. It's 3 o'clock. So thank y'all for joining me today. I'm glad we got a chance to just talk and chop it up. We'll probably do some more early ones. We had a lot of people in here too for an early show. So we'll try and mix the times up so that way everything's not always late. So I think the 1, 2 o'clock, that was definitely a good time slot for a lot of people because we got up to like over 20 people in here at one point. So thank you guys. I will see you guys in the Discord. Everybody enjoy the rest of y'all's day. Bye, y'all.